Hey guys, I just want to hop on here and give you guys a little bit of an update on what's been going on. So I'm going to insert the videos and pictures that I ended up taking when this occurred, but just a few weeks ago, I ended up having an accident and put me into the hospital. So, let me just explain. So I am now 27 weeks, and this occurred when I was 25 weeks. So it was a little while ago, but it still put me in the hospital. And I wasn't too concerned about it, to be honest, but I did end up getting checked and made sure that everything was good. So let me give you a play-by-play. Okay, so it started off where me and my partner were gonna go and ride bikes. I know you're probably in your head thinking, okay, well, first off, you're 25 weeks, you shouldn't be riding bike. Well, actually, my OB is okay with it because it helps with me not throwing up, not getting very nauseous, anything like that. And it also is a really good exercise, and it's just good for you, health wise. And lots of women who are pregnant bike, swim, exercise, all different stuff. They go to the gym and lift weights, and they do more exercise than I do. Okay, so let me just put that out there. So I know that there's going to be some comments like that, but so we went out and rode bikes. And on our bike ride, there was a car that was coming into the road. So there was a road. In the bike lane that I was in, I ended up getting off because I got too concerned about it. And so I got off and stopped, and it was the side of the road in gravel. And so what I did was I ended up waiting for them to pass. And so then I was talking to my partner because he had stopped too, and I was talking to him, and then I was like, all right, let's go. And so I ended up trying to go onto the road. Turns out the way my bike was angled was not going straight, like the tire was not going straight in. It was just kind of at an angle. And so the tire ended up hitting the side of the road, which was more up, and let's just say I already knew that I was gonna fall, and I figured all right, let go of the bike, just catch yourself. And so that's exactly what I did. Scraped up my hand, which I kind of have a little bit of mark. Scraped up my right leg pretty bad, bruised it, and also hit my right side, the side of my stomach. And so I was okay, I wasn't having any bleeding, but I did not have any pressure or pain that morning like I normally did. And so when I started having it after I fell, I got really kind of concerned. We were spending the day with my partner's grandparents, and so I don't remember, it was his grandfather, I'm sorry. We were spending the day with his grandfather, and then we ended up just kind of hanging out and chilling, and then going back to the house. And at this point, the pressure and the pain was there. I wasn't too concerned about it, but I did get okay, maybe I should go get checked just in case. And my mom was very well, I mean, you're not bleeding, you're not having contractions, you should be fine, just monitor it and make sure that it doesn't intensify. If it does, then go in. Well, then when I had gotten home, I had let her know. I was like, hey, which hospital should I go to? Well, there's a hospital right next to the house, emergency room, and an urgent care, but it didn't have an L&D. which is labor and delivery, if you didn't know. So she was like, we'll just go there just to get seen. You're not bleeding, see what they think. So that's what I did. Well, what they did was they admitted me into the emergency room part instead of using the urgent care, which I already was expecting it. I didn't expect them to admit me. I thought they would just tell me to, hey, go over to your L&D where you are. I was like in my head about that. Well, they took my blood pressure. They asked me a bunch of questions like bleeding, pressure, pain, anything like that. How long ago was it? Which give you a time frame. It happened about, I think, 1:40, and then I had gone into the hospital at 4 something. So it was several hours later of me monitoring myself. Well, the hospital was like, okay, you said there was no bleeding, that you just came in just to see and make sure that nothing was ruptured, which nothing was. But they're like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to give you an ultrasound, and we're gonna do a Doppler. So that's what they did. Doppler came back, heart rate was 122, and then they were talking about transferring me to an L&D, which they were trying to get in contact with. They were trying to get in contact with my L&D, my doctor, which was in a completely different town, about 45 minutes away. And so that's basically what they did. They got in contact with the on-call OB, which, because it was a weekend, he wasn't there. They talked to the on-call. Well, the on-call told me to transfer over to a hospital out in like 45 minutes away, but it's only has a place for a NICU. My OB did not have a place for a NICU. The place that was nearest to us, they had a NICU, but it was for 34 and up. They had a thing for 34 and up. Well, the other one, the one that they requested me to go to, recommended, was for like any NICU, like any amount of time after 23 weeks, because 23 weeks marks like the safe point or something like that. That's what they said. And so went and was just waiting there, waiting, and they ended up telling me, okay, we're gonna have an ultrasound come in and check you. And so that's what they did. And we got to get you changed. You got to change. You got to do this. You got to do that. Blah 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 blah. And worst case scenario is we're gonna have to do a blood test. So they're going to do a blood test to see if there was an RH factor, if there was blood from the baby to me, that it wasn't going to cause any future miscarriages, which I guess because it depends on the blood type. If you're negative, O negative, or some negative, then they would have to give you the shot. Well, they got my records from my doctor because I've done a bunch of blood tests and all that. They got all of that and realized that I was positive, so they didn't have to give me the blood shot, the shot. So ended up having the ultrasound people come in. Well, it was a lady. She came in, did the ultrasound. Then the doctor came in. Placenta was great. She was already very active for that hour. So the entire time we were in the hospital, she was active. And before we went in, she wasn't active. It's like she was asleep. So it was just a crazy little experience. And then they got a hold of the hospital that they were recommending me to. They were talking to them, telling them that, okay, well, we got the ultrasound looks good, no bleeding, no rupture, placenta looks great, baby looks great, very active, blah blah blah. Well, then the hospital there were like, okay, well, she's past the 4-hour mark, so it's best if she doesn't come here and just goes home, and then she doesn't have to be transferred in an ambulance all the way to this hospital. She could just go home and monitor at home, self-monitor, and have like make sure she's not bleeding, and contact her doctor, her OB, on Monday. So they told me that, relayed that information, and yeah, that is basically it. I ended up going home, and now I'm 27 weeks. She's still perfectly fine. She's very active. Everything's been looking great. And yeah, so give you guys a little bit of an update. I do want to say though, the ER did recommend me not to ride my bike, but you know, it's a good form of exercise. But the reasoning why is because of a lack of balance. And as you start getting bigger, you become like off-centered, I guess. And so basically, you know what I'm saying, you end up getting like too big, you don't have good balance. And so they just were really made me aware of that, and were very pushy about it too. They were like, look, go to your nearest L&D. If anything happens, go to your nearest L&D. We do not have an L&D, so no matter what it is, go there, because if you come to us, we're not going to be able to help you and monitor the baby. We don't have a band for monitoring the baby and everything. So that's what happened. I ended up going home, and I've been doing perfectly fine. Like I said, she's very active, and yeah. So I will give you guys an update on that. I believe I have another ultrasound, or no, not ultrasound. I have a doctor's appointment, just a doctor's appointment, in a few weeks, and then, yeah. So I have a doctor's appointment in a few weeks, and at this point, I'm just kind of like nesting in a way. Like, I set up the baby stuff, obviously the stuff that I do have. I have to, I think that's about it. So yeah, I think that's about it. We did get some new outfits for the baby, and one is like a Nike outfit, and my partner ended up getting like little Nike socks and a Nike little outfit. It's super cute. And then she's kicking me. I'm trying to think. There's just a lot of stuff that we've gotten, and honestly, it's like very overwhelming to the point where it's like you feel like you don't have enough, and that you want to just make sure you have everything. And I think that's the hard part, is that you're never going to be fully prepared, because you don't really know until they're here. So I think that's the hard part, is that I am just really wanting like everything all at once, have it, and she's not due until May. And granted, if she comes earlier than May, you know, that's scary, but you know, that simple fact of making sure that everything is here before she gets here. And that's where my mindset has been, and it's very overwhelming and stressful, but I'm trying to get through it and remind myself that you don't have to have everything right this minute. You still have time. So yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, and a little update too is I cut my hair. I got all of like the dead ends off of my hair, so that, you know, it's a lot healthier. That, and also my blonde is definitely coming back in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, thank you guys for continue watching, and I will see you guys very soon with some more updates, some more videos. The problem is I cannot find my SIM cards for my cameras, so I'm trying to figure out what I did with them. But you know, it's okay. I will figure it out, and I will find them. They're here somewhere, just don't know exactly where, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in another video.